Hello Libra! Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Okay? And if there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. Okay? And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And there is the Eight of Wands, some very fast-moving fire energy, all right? Let's put that into some context because I feel like that's going to be kind of a sudden burst of things, okay? Oh, and we've got the Ace of Wands down here too. We're going to finish up with our Dove and Serpent spread. A lot of good fire energy today. A lot of strong energy. Mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to use the Smith-Waite Tarot for our mystery card. And this is the card that we are going to randomly select. We're going to set it aside. We'll put the lizard on top. That is the Lizard King. And we will not look at that until the very end. Okay. And that, hopefully, will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. So, major. Okay. The major arcana really seems to be in kind of a nice horizontal pattern here, which I kind of like that. It's kind of yesterday, tomorrow, and into the future, right? I like that. We've also got some earth energy. We've got some fire, some water. We've got some more earth, some more water, a little bit of air coming at the end, okay? So I kind of think that at the end of all of this, it's something where we're going to look back on it, hopefully with some fond memories, right? But let's get started with this 8. I think things are happening quickly. I think you're in a period of your life where things are not moving slowly, okay? I think things are moving quite swiftly. I think you've got a lot of energy, a lot of ambition, a lot of this fire energy. And it's kind of going in different directions right now, okay? We kind of have an intensity. We're kind of like a pot of water that's just starting to boil. And we better either throw some food in there, take it off the burner, or it's just going to boil over and it's going to get everywhere, right? There's a lot of passion in you. There's a lot of enthusiasm and creativity, okay? Not only we've got the 8 of Wands, we've got the Ace down here too. The Ace is kind of the underlying drive that you have, and I wonder what the source of this is. Right? I wonder what it is that really drives you, because this is the flame underneath the pot, right? And this is the pot that's kind of starting to boil over. So I kind of feel like we need a little bit of direction. We need a little bit of, we need something to do with all of this fire energy, all of this creativity, right? Because the 8 here is, it's sometimes this idea that if we go equally in every direction, we're going to end up going nowhere, right? It's the equal pressure pushing against each other that creates a very tense stability, right? It's a lot of energy being expended to really just stay in one place, you know? And I kind of feel that energy with this 8. It's that we're trying to go in different directions, and so all of our efforts are kind of canceling each other out. Does that make sense for you? If that's resonating with you, then I think what we need is to maybe change our perspective a little bit. Maybe that's why we've got this 3 of Swords at the end here. Because, you know, 3 of Swords, ending a reading with this kind of thing, we all know 3 of Swords, it's sorrow and heartbreak and, you know, some really kind of dark energy, but maybe this is the fresh perspective that we need. Maybe this is telling us, this 3 of Swords, maybe it's telling us ultimately that what we have set our sights on, what we really have our heart set on is not really for us. Maybe this isn't really true, right? Maybe what we think is what we want turns out to really be not it. What we kind of maybe like want to be in love with, it's not really for us. Okay, just a thought. What it does look like, though, is that our efforts are kind of going in different directions, and we're not able to make progress in whatever we're doing. Maybe this is a work thing. Maybe this is something in your personal life. Maybe it's a relationship, of some kind anyway. Some creative endeavors, something that you're working on, something that you spend your time thinking about, and maybe making a couple of steps in one direction, then we kind of take a couple steps in the opposite direction, right? And then we're right back where we started. So I see this as a lot of effort, but not a lot of progress. Okay. And I feel like there's something that is motivating you to have this kind of energy and have this kind of ambition. And the problem with the ace of any of the elements, but in this case the ace of wands, is that it's unmanifest. This is an unrealized potential, especially since it's underneath everything. It's at the bottom of the path of the dove, right? It's the flame that is kind of boiling this pot of water, but we don't know what we're cooking yet, And with the cold cooking analogy, here's the 8 of Cups. This is right on top of our fire, of all of our energy. So I think this is us beginning to realize that we're no longer interested in the dish that we're cooking, right? That maybe our tastes are changing. Maybe the joy and pleasure that we once had in cooking this style of food or this particular dish, we don't really have it anymore. So it feels to me like you still have this intense, motivating energy, but now we're applying it to something that our heart really isn't in anymore. Okay. So what I kind of think is going on, we have in the, tomorrow's energy, we have this art card or temperance card. So this might be, a necessary problem. It's like we have to turn up the heat. We have to let this water boil out. Because only by really trying our best in this situation, because, when you're involved in something, you've been doing it a while, sometimes we get bored with things, right? Sometimes we feel like our heart's not in it anymore. That doesn't mean you don't want it. That doesn't mean that it's not for you. That just means that we're going through that period of we're almost repulsed by it, If we push through that, then we get to that glorious stage of transcendence, of success, of this, elated kind of almost religious experience. So I think right now we're in this period where it doesn't feel as good anymore, but that doesn't mean we've lost it. So I'm kind of thinking with this fire energy that we just need to keep at it, right? Stick with it a little bit longer, but try to get some focus. Try to get some clarity. Yesterday, we had plenty of clarity. We had this magician energy yesterday, or in the past. I don't know if it was literally yesterday. We had a clear idea of what we wanted. We knew this was the one, right? We were so concentrated, so sure, so confident. We had no doubts about it. We had our fiery wand of creativity, the magician, and the magic wand. We were doing it. We were ready to do it. And now that time has gone by, however much time, a day, a week, a month, a year. We're just feeling a little bored with it, I think. That doesn't mean that it's still not for you. It doesn't mean that this isn't what you're meant to do. And I know I said at the end of everything, we've got that 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords is the clarity that you're going to have at the end. It's going to be the hindsight, right? Right now that we're in the middle of it, we're not sure. We don't know if this is for us. We don't know if the glass is half full or half empty. We don't know if we're losing heart or if we're gaining heart in this situation. So the only thing we really can do tomorrow is keep experimenting, keep going through the fire, keep pushing forward, but try to maintain some direction. Try to get out of this 8, this kind of highly pressurized but highly immobile state of the 8 of Wands. We need to break that a little bit so we can keep pushing. Okay? And it's only by testing yourself, by testing the environment in this manner, can we figure out what's going on here. Right? And I think that's why we've got the horizontal path of these major arcana, right? Because it goes with the Magician yesterday. Tomorrow we have the Art or Temperance card, right into the environment of this Devil energy. And the Devil energy, you give this Devil energy, this card, you give this a task and it will just do it, right? You put this in front of a mountain, it will climb the mountain. It won't stop until either it runs out of mountain or some other energy changes its course, right? It's the endurance, it's the momentum that we see here. And it's through this Devil energy too that you're going to come to know yourself. So you're going to get that really deep insight into what your motivations are. What is your original impulse to even pursue this activity, this type of work, this type of relationship, this creativity? What is it that is fueling this fire down here? Okay. So I feel like we're trying to really understand this 8 of Cups. This isn't the easiest card to understand, especially when your feelings on a day-to-day basis kind of change. Here's the 2 of Pentacles. It's at the top of the path of the Dove. You're trying to differentiate. You're trying to distinguish between dark and light. You're trying to see the contrast of things. But it's difficult to do when maybe you're looking through this boiling pot of water. You know, it's hard to see through the steam that it creates. We can't really see what's what. This is kind of, things are not so black and white anymore, like this card. Things are merging into a misty gray color. Okay. So this is us trying to sort things out. Trying to figure out what we're doing, why we're doing it, where we're doing it, who we're doing it with, right? And what we're going to do tomorrow. I think ultimately your goal is to improve your life, improve your state of happiness. Everything that seems low, you want it to be high, right? Everything that seems dark, you want it to be enlightened, okay? And that's the only motivation that I can really glean from these energies, is that you're looking to enact some sort of change in your life, right? There's something that you're dissatisfied with, that you're trying to improve. And this is the food. These are the raw ingredients that are going into this pot of water that is then being boiled with this flame, right? So and of course, the alchemist or the chemist or the cook, the chef in the kitchen, is this card here. So we need to figure out what we're cooking. What are we trying to do? What do we want to accomplish, right? We need to be able to sort out our ingredients and see what we even have in front of us. We need to understand whether this is still something we want to do, right? Something we want to continue to cook. And we kind of have to understand what the fuel is, what the fire is beneath it. What is it that's motivating you? What is it that will really get your passion burning again? You know, maybe it is changing courses, changing dishes, that sort of thing. But we know that you're not going to get to the bottom of this if you just leave the kitchen. It's not about throwing down your tools, throwing down your chef's knife. Don't throw knives, that sounds dangerous. But to stay in the kitchen and continue experimenting, right? Finish this particular project, see how it feels. Get a little bit further along in it. Try to push through this initial I don't even know what it is, this initial repulsion to it, this aversion to it. It's like we're just kind of bored of it. It's almost like we wake up and just say, I don't want to do it. Let's push through that a little bit. Okay? Because I think when you're in the kitchen and when you are doing it, it feels a lot different than when you wake up in the morning and you realize that you got to go do it. You know, that's the hardest part. But once you're in the middle of it, maybe you feel differently. Right? So I think this is kind of the situation that's going on in your life right now. Let's look at the energy on the path of the serpent, because we have more fire, we have more water, we've got that devil energy. The Four of Wands, we've been getting this card quite a bit. This is you manifesting your will. This is you being able to start and stop projects. You know, this is you like getting an idea, setting it all up, and you know, by the end of the day you've got a pop-up restaurant in New York City or whatever. You know, it's just kind of it's a very quick thing. You know, this used to be how you operate. I think currently we're stuck in this Eight of Wands. We need to get back to this Four of Wands. And this is being able to have the impulse, the concentration, the motivation to do something, put it all together in the course of like a day and get it done. By the end of the day, there it is, right? Whereas with the Eight of Wands, it's a little bit more indecisiveness, a little bit more uncertainty. It's almost a lack of trust in yourself. And I think it's because you're just having difficulty connecting with things emotionally or on that spiritual level, you know, in terms of the greater picture of your life, the kind of overall path that you're on. We might be failing to see how these individual products are really connecting with the bigger picture. Okay, so we're trying to get back to this, where this is just, you've got the idea, and then within a couple hours, there's your whatever pop-up restaurant. I've been watching a lot of cooking shows. So this is kind of what we want. This is the type of simplicity that we want to get back to. We don't want to overthink things. I don't think we're doing that. We don't have a lot of air energy on the path of the dove. We're almost over-feeling things. You know, we're very sensitive to our own moment-to-moment emotions. Okay, we need to simplify. We need to trust that fiery instinct that we have. We need to trust the gas stove that we're cooking on. And we just need to go with it. You've started something, let's finish it, see how it feels, see how it tastes, then move to the next thing. You know. And to do that, we really have to focus. Here's that devil card again. This is hyper-focus. This is almost obsession. This is not overthinking. This is not overfeeling. This is just work. They should have called this card work. This is not going to change course or change courses until it's instructed by the expediter or whatever to do it. Okay. I wonder if you're doing something in food service, because it feels that way to me. Like this has a whole kind of hospitality, food service, kitchen kind of vibe. But this is just this is the work, and it's going to continue until you make the intentional decision to change directions. And I think this is what we need to invoke in order to get through this period of it's like the goat takes a couple steps up the mountain and then says, oh, I don't know if I like this mountain, and then kind of takes a couple steps down the mountain and keeps doing that because nobody's there to just say, hey, get up the hill. And so that's kind of what we need, is that something, that fire energy that just lights up underneath us, gets us working, gets us to whatever the end game is with this particular project. Anyway, the next card, Two of Cups. It's in the position of what you don't want. And this is interesting to me. It's going to take me a minute to figure out why this is here. It seems like this is what you do want. You want to connect with what you're doing. You want to make positive changes, right? This is kind of, we have the idea of the two, the duality. This is finding something maybe outside of us that we're connecting with. Finding a connection in external activity, in other people, in some work that we're doing out in the world, right? Maybe this isn't so much what we need, but this is kind of what we are. I don't know why we're reluctant to have that. I think that is what we need. But it's almost like we're trying to resist that, or maybe there's something going on that we feel it's inauthentic. If we're over here in the Eight of Cups, maybe it seems like a long way off to get to the Two. Maybe the Two seems too simple, or it's too kind of obvious or too on the nose that, just to find that love with what you're doing, to be in love with the work that you do. Maybe it seems like that is an impossibility. Maybe it seems like that's kind of a fantasy, the idea of being in love with what you do, or loving what you do, or finding that one thing that you connect with it's magic. Kind of seems like a movie, right? It doesn't seem real. So I can understand maybe why this is something that we're kind of a little suspicious of, the Two of Cups, because we're so used to the Eight of Cups. We kind of sort of like it, but then we also don't want it anymore, but yet we have all of this creativity and all of this fire and all of this vitality, but we just don't connect with things like we used to. We don't feel as in love with things as we used to with the work that we do. So I think we need to get back here, but maybe we feel as if this is the impossible kind of dream, the fantasy that only ever happens on movies or TV shows or something. Could be. But now this Three of Swords that's at the end, I think this is hindsight, this is retrospect. This is, I think, when you cross this barrier and when we're able to simplify things and not overfeel what we're doing, and just allow ourselves to admit the possibility of the Two of Cups. If we can accept that, the Two of Cups, that's what we just want to simply enjoy what we do. We want to feel that it is the right path for us. We want to feel connected with the work that we do and the people around us. If we can admit that, then maybe when this is all said and done, when, after dinner service is over, you can sit and think back at all the difficulties and all the uncertainty and all the mixed feelings and really understand what it meant, right? Understand if this was you pushing yourself through the discomfort of something so that you can reconnect with that love and that connection. Maybe this is the understanding that at the end of food service, you're going to realize that cooking is just not for you. You just don't like it anymore. But I think we have to go through this difficulty. We have to push ourselves to follow through so that we can understand at the end. If you quit now, you'll never know. If this is just, quitting because I'm tired, or if I'm quitting because I really just don't like, this is not for me. I'm not resonating with it. We stick around till the end, then I think we're in a better position where we can, we can ruminate a little bit. We can kind of look back and contemplate what we've been through. We'll gain a lot of insight, I think, when we get to that point. Let's get over here to this point, and this is the mystery card. This could be, a solution to the water energy. We might see something like a Three of Cups. Might see a Nine of Cups. If it's a Nine of Cups, that's going to be something else. I don't know that it will be necessarily a Nine of Cups. I almost feel it's going to be some more major arcana, like there's another kind of lesson here somewhere for you. Let's reveal it. Yeah, Temperance. the Temperance card saying, get your ass back in the kitchen. You know, you can't quit now. You've got to finish the service, finish what you're doing. It's only through pushing yourself through the heat of this project, this work, this relationship, this job, this whatever it is that you're doing, you know. Push yourself to the end. That's the only way that you're really going to know yourself and to understand yourself. So this isn't just you know, being punished or punishing yourself, or, you know, no, this is a learning experience for you, right? This is a lot of heat that is going to strengthen you one way or the other. Through this fire, at the end, we're going to have some very strong swords. Now, the Three of Swords is a really deep understanding of yourself, okay? It's the sometimes painful truth about yourself, about your situation, but it's truth nonetheless, okay? And the way to get that distillate out of all of this water and fire is to just keep boiling until, you know, until you have enough, until enough has been volatilized that you can collect the distillate. Okay. So double of the Temperance card. Very, very interesting. I'd like to do the extended as well and see if we can get any additional insights or energies that might make themselves known. I want to thank you for being here, all right? And if you would like to see the extended, just click up here. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings, not just for Libra, but for every zodiac sign. Okay. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me, and thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.